Hello, Herlighters. It's Erin Foley back in the booth talking sports. This week's podcast is all about soccer as our U.S. women's national team squad is prepping for the Olympics. I am so fired up. And wow, do I have a guest that can talk us through all of it? With me today is one of the OGs of the 99er squad, Tish Venturini Hoch, legendary midfielder. Let me just tell you this, people. Her accomplishments are next level. She's the only person in the history of soccer to have won a World Cup, 99, a gold medal in the Olympics, 96 in Atlanta, four Division One titles in college. She played for UNC, which is the greatest collegiate soccer program. She won four in a row and a women's professional league championship. And because of all of that, she was recently inducted into the Soccer Hall of Fame. I mean, I need to get up earlier. These accomplishments are insane. And we just had such a fantastic conversation. We talked about the Hall of Fame, her investment in ACFC, and then we got nerdy and went over the two U.S. women's national team games against South Korea and how difficult it's going to be for Coach Emma Hayes to pick 18 of these players to go to the Olympics. I know you're going to love this conversation I had with Tish, so let's just jump right in. It's just so exciting that you're here because I don't have a chance to talk to Hall of Famers every day of my life. So just a huge congratulations. Hall of Fame, holy crap balls. I mean, how, I don't even know. I mean, we could talk about the Hall of Fame literally for an hour, but just give me a couple moments, maybe one like favorite moment, one unexpected moment of
Yeah.
your class of 2024. It just happened.
Yeah. Well, I would say the unexpected moment was when Mia Hamm, who's like one of my best friends, shows up at like I help coach at the high school girls team, right? So it's like Saturday night at Newport Harbor High School. Nothing really that exciting. And like the game's over and I'm just kind of like milling around and everybody's acting a little strange. And then like Mia walks out. I'm going, what the hell? What's going on? And like all of a sudden, like a group of all my friends and family like walk up, and I'm going, what's going on here? And then so she does the whole announcement, and I'm just dumbfounded because I'd really like thought I did get the veterans ballot, which means like you're a little bit like you've been on the ballot for a long time, but I'd forgotten about it. Like I don't pay attention to any of that, so I didn't even know I was up for anything. So literally, when she like told me, I was like. Then I'm thinking, well, what Hall of Fame is she talking? What Hall of Fame is this? Like, is this like the Hall of Fame? Literally, I was like in just like the whole time. It was like a 20-minute thing. And I was like, I think I don't remember. Like, I was like, what is happening? And then the best part about it actually was like all of the girls on the two teams are like, oh my God, that's Mia Hamm. Like, so the other team, we just beat the crap out of this other poor team, right? And our coach said, you guys might want to stick around after something cool is going to happen, right? So they stick around. They're from like Carmel or something. And Mia's over there after the little bit of a ceremony, and she's like signing their shoes and taking pictures, and they're bawling, and their parents are out there. And I just look over to that. I go, this is like, we just made like how many kids like life. Like I met Mia Hamm, like, so that I was shocked. Like I still can't quite put that, like I haven't processed all that. So I was shocked about that. I think the cool part was just like my whole family came. So there was my brother and his whole family, my sister and her whole family, obviously my parents, who went to like 95% of my games like throughout my life. Like I went to North Carolina, which was 3,000 miles away. They were at 90% of those games. Like they just never miss anything, right? And so, I mean, I didn't think they weren't going to come, but it was like nice for them I was like celebrating them because, I got there, but it was all these other people that got me there. So it was nice for me to be able to thank them and kind of celebrate them for all of that they've backed me all this time and supported me so much. So it was fun to celebrate along with them. Yeah. And then like Cindy Parlow obviously is the president of US Soccer, so she had to be there, but she was there. And Carla Overbeck was there, and sitting out there with their red jacket. And Anson Dorrance, the head coach at Carolina, who was my coach, came out with his wife. So it was just a ton of soccer people. Like
oh, it's a
like,
nerd
you get in there, and
it's
I'm like,
awesome.
oh my God, I know. Like I don't remember maybe everybody's name, and I'm like, oh, like all these people. It's like soccer is a small community, so. The whole thing was awesome. I was scared out of my mind because I had to do a speech and do all the interview, and I don't like any of that. So that part, I was like sweating like profusely, like Jackie. I was looking at my buddy. I'm like, dude, help me out here. Like I am dying. And then then after I was done, I was great. But it was a lot, and it's a huge honor. So it was great.
Well, first of all, for you not wanting to do public speaking, this speech, which I encourage everybody to watch. I'll put the link in of the episode link, but it was great. I can't believe you held it together. Like you did such a good. First of all, your brother introing you was I was already crying. I was like, I'm down. And then you get up,
classic.
you put the jacket on, like it's so overwhelming, and then you just nailed the speech, and then your voice cracked a little when you're talking about your kids, and I fully just was like sobbing. And you really held it together. I thought like just the fact that you went through, you know, the history of your coaches and what they taught you and players, it was just so well done. It was, because that's hard. It's hard to pull off a speech with all of that, you know, kind of just pressure and limelight and stuff for people aren't really comfortable with it. But yeah, but you nailed it, and so well deserved. I honestly thought you were already in. I didn't even like, I just was like, oh, like I just assumed that you had gotten in.
I just assumed I wasn't getting in. And then like I'm sitting there and you're looking up and they have all the names of all the people, and I'm looking at, you know, like there's Patty and Overbeck, Lilly, Hamm, Chastain, Akers, McMillan, Milber, you know, and I'm just going, shit, dude, like these people are good.
Well, you're right there with them, and you do and the backflips. I mean, you should have just gotten into the Hall of Fame for some of your backflips.
Exactly, right? Come on, guys.
It's full circle. You should have gotten in a long time ago. But the red jacket. Now, here's another really important question. Have you worn the red jacket out and around? Do you go to dinner parties and you're like, oh, I was chilly. I would be wearing that nonstop.
That's hilarious. You're hilarious. Actually, no, I went and had a dry clean this is funny because I went to the dry clean. I don't usually pay attention to anything. And then I went to pick up some stuff, and that's the only thing I remember. I'm like, I got to get that red jacket back. Like, I don't know what else I put in there. So I'm leaving and I go to the car and I'm looking through and I go, dude, where's the red jacket? So I like run back in and it's still hanging on. Like, the lady forgot.
Oh my God.
The lady forgot. So it was like just hanging over there. And I go, hey, I need that red jacket. She goes, oh, okay. And I was like, oh my God, I already almost lost it. So,
oh my God,
I'll never probably wear it. Actually, there is a friend of mine who was Sean Pronger. He played in the pro hockey. And he is like all over me about this. He's like, you know, you have to like sign Hall of Fame now. And whenever he texts me, he's like, hey, Hall of Famer, like all the time. He's like, so I think I'll probably go over to his house for dinner one night and just kind of with that on. He'll get a kick out of that. But otherwise, unless you go back to the Hall of Fame, I don't believe you just wear it around.
I would be like shopping in Trader Joe's with my Hall of Fame jacket on. I'd be like, I'm sorry,
hey guys,
pass the bananas.
That's awesome.
This Hall of Famer needs some more bananas. That's so awesome.
If I do it, I'll let you know how that goes.
Yeah, please take photos or a video and send it to me. Well, let's transition out of this. You're wearing your Angel City shirt. I just have so much Angel City garb that I feel like sometimes I shouldn't wear it because it's a little bit of an overkill. But it's been for me, a lifelong, you know, I played a ton of sports, been watching everything since women's sports, specifically since the dawn of time. It's been one of the best experiences as a fan in any sport, because I literally OD on all the sports. So I wanted to ask you, on the other side of things, how is it, you know, been for you, and how you jumped in to be, you know, an ACFC investor?
Yeah, I mean, it is a great experience, and I'm a fan. Like I mean, I know I have a little bit of a, you know, investment in it, but like I'm going there as a fan, and I'm bringing my family, my friends, and I bring new people all the time, and they're like, oh my God, this is like, they're not thinking it's going to be that cool, right? And I'm like, they love it. So I think I got in. Like, I think that like Mia and Foudy were kind of in early, and I think Foudy probably said, hey, like we got all these like alumni US women's national team, they all live like right here, do you want to open it up, like see if they're interested? And the Angel City was like, great. So Julie Foudy sends out an email to like, there's like 10 of us or something, 12 of us. And it's like, boom, I'm in, boom, like right back. We were all like all over her. We're like, hell yeah, let's go. So there's like 12 of us, and we're all investors. And most of us have like seats, like right where I'm like Mia, because Mia is an owner of LAFC as well, which they play in
Yeah.
the same stadium. So she already has her seats. And like, I've been to a game with her. I'm like, I need to get seats right there. So we've all, and Foudy and Joy Fought, we all have seats like right together. And I didn't know you were there a lot. You got to come.
Oh, season ticket. I put money down
yeah.
when someone was like, there might be a soccer. I was like, here's my credit card. I was
cool.
so fired up. I have seats just almost like directly across from you guys. I'm in section 115 and I love the seats. First of all, one of the most heartwarming things is, well, I'll say this about every day of the year, seeing little girls in jerseys and little boys, but specifically little girls. Not only in Angel City jerseys, but all of you guys, all the U.S. Women's National Team jerseys is just so heartwarming. The atmosphere is just, I mean, it's so positive. It's so fun. You don't hear, like, I had to stop going to my beloved childhood New York Giants games because the language and the anger was so bad. I just couldn't take it. And this experience, well, because women aren't wild pigs. Is like the opposite. It's so family friendly. I always call it like a Bridgerton lesbian coming out ball. It's loaded with like it's so diverse and it's just wonderful.
Yeah. And there's people all walks of life, dude.
All
like,
walks of life.
And we have like there's a whole group of gals that sit like down in there on our way up to our seats, and we're like best friends. I don't know any of their names, but we're like. We got handshakes and we're like talking every game, like on the way up. And it's just, anybody can go. And I brought like 3 of my girlfriends and, one's not really a sportsy, but the other are sportier, but the other ones kind of are. And they were like, my one friend's like, this is like an NFL game. And I go, no. This is nothing. Like she meant how big and they were like how many people. I was like, no. If we were at a Raider game right now, we would be like getting knifed or something. Like, there were 2 San Diego gals sitting in front of Foudy and I with their jerseys on, right? And normally, like if you're at an NFL game and the person's on the other team, you're like, oh, we were like best buds. We were taking pictures and drinking beers together. We were like old time friends. So it's a great environment. I encourage anyone, whether you like soccer or not, if you have young people to bring, it is a great time.
It's so fun. Whenever I try to get friends to, watch women's sports or whatever it is, I'll take them to an Angel City game. I'll take them to a Sparks game, or, I will travel anywhere and go see a game. That was the beauty of when I was doing, tons of touring, because I would just, whatever comedy club, I would just seek out whatever women's sports, or now you can actually go see so much more, which is so exciting. But as soon as they go to an Angel City game, they're blown away. Everybody, and even my partner, who is not like a huge soccer fan, like, she likes like the bigger games. I give her like backgrounds of players. I'm like, well, this one, blah blah blah, and she gets sucked into the story, loves the environment, and now she goes. Now I like almost can't keep her away, and it's just awesome.
Yeah, that's the same thing. I've sent people, or I'll bring people, and they all are just I go anytime. Like anytime you want to take me or give me, I'm going. Yeah. And it's a positive. And the girls you're playing are just, they're awesome kids. Like some of them are kids. Some of them are grown.
Oh my God, they're like 12. I'm like, this one can't even go to a high school graduation.
Exactly. But then you've got your grown, 35-year-old women. So it's such, and they're all from different, races, backgrounds, everything. It's just so cool. And everybody, you get in there, you just feel like, for us, it's like you're part of a team for so long. It's like part of your DNA. Like you want to be, so like for us, that's like our team. Like we feel, and so does everybody in there. Like, well, this is our team. Yeah. And so it's a really cool thing. And I hate when I have to miss a game, but I also am like, well, this is an opportunity for me to send someone else, get them involved. Yeah.
Yeah. That's like, and it's so easy to transfer tickets. And like, if I can't go, if I'm on the road or whatever performing, I'm always gifting them. I'm like, okay, what are 2 people that like sort of expressed interest that I'm like, boom, like I literally like, curate their experience. I'm like, here's where you park. Here's the best snack. Like, you know what I mean? And it's so fun. So let me ask you this. You played obviously in so many different iterations of, professional leagues, domestic professional leagues. to see now where the NWSL is at, did you ever, I mean, I'm sure that was like a dream, but did you ever see this happening? Like, it just seems like it's come so far after so long of leagues folding time and time again.
I was in the very first with WUSA 2001, 2, and 3. Is that right? Yeah. And then that one was it. And it was it. And I was in San Jose. The crowds were minimal. We didn't have any facilities. We were literally, we like trained at a junior college. We didn't have a locker room. So it's like, couldn't be any more different.
Right.
And it was great. We thought it was awesome. We got to play in front of a couple thousand people. We were on this cool team. We had a great time, but it is at least at Angel City. I haven't been actually to any other stadium now that I think about it. I'm going to go up with Brandy to the Bay. Brandy Chastain is an owner up there. So I'm going to get up there for a game, but like the whole thing, it's so awesome because it's everything you dreamed of. But I was always like, I had to be a man to get all that. Like I was going to have to be a Major League Baseball player or NFL player, which, when I was little, I thought that's what I was going to do. Right. And then, that wasn't super realistic. But now these women have these opportunities and they're getting paid and they're, we're on TV and we fill out Angel City Stadium, 15,000 regular, 22, it's amazing. It's what they do. It's what the women deserve. And it's just night and day from where we came from. Like we all we're sitting in the stands and we're just like, this is awesome. It was worth all of the grinding.
I was just going to say, like,
absolutely.
Do you have moments where you're like, God damn it. We should be playing now.
No, we don't have
built it all. I mean, there's got to be such pride in that you built this.
It is. There is. Because it's like 20 years, 25, 30 years. I mean, it took a freaking long time, but we feel part of it. Like we put in some work to help get it there. And now it's great to have it for these kids and for the future generations. It can only get better. Right. So we're all about it. We support it as much as we can. Like I love all women's sports. I'm watching softball. I'm watching WNBA. I'm watching NWS. I mean, it's like, I've got an iPad and a phone and
it's
you can't watch it all. Yeah.
I try to literally at 5 o'clock. I'm like, well, Texas, Oklahoma. And then I had Coco Gauff on at 7 a.m. with the French Open. I'm like, it's like
it wears
dream,
you out.
though.
Yeah. I make a chart. Yeah. Like I'll be like, what's on today? Yeah. And then I'll go and I did it and write it all down and record and try to watch. But what a time. So great, though. I mean, like from like when we grew up, it was like, we had opportunity. But like now it's like, now you can, like when I was a kid, I wanted to be in the Olympics, but it was going to be for, like I said, like baseball or gymnastics, which I could do a flip, but I couldn't do anything. It's like total unrealistic stuff.
Yeah.
And now, like, if you want to play softball or soccer, like you can go be pro, go make a living out of it. It's incredible.
It is incredible. I remember I interviewed Kristine Lilly like probably 5 years ago. And, we were saying like, she was like, there was nowhere to dream. There's no, like, she told me the story of like kicking the ball against the wall again and again and again. Like, where do you play? Where do you go? And I wasn't at your level. I mean, I played like sports around the clock in high school. I played college basketball, but there was no like, oh, if I keep at this and I work really hard, I can,
right.
What? You know what I mean? So
There's
it's just to have,
like to shoot
yeah. And now you've got like 5-year-olds looking at 16-year-olds being like, oh, I want to be like her.
Yeah. It's almost gone too far that way.
Yeah.
Like now every little kid, or at least their parent is like, oh, we're going to get a full scholarship and you're going to be this. And it's almost too much. So I'm kind of grateful that I came up when I did. And it was like, you just played because you loved it. And, like the national team, we didn't get paid hardly. We were in a crappy hotel. We were in middle seats in the airplane, and we had, our parents were in the stands basically usually, but it was freaking awesome. Like we loved it, and we played our hearts out. It's just a whole different time, but there is a lot of pressure on these young kids to train and do extra and do speed training and do this and watch film. I'm like, just let them play and be a kid. Like we're kind of losing sight of that a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Caitlin Clark was recruited when she was in 7th grade. I just watched this documentary and her mom was like, we were just like, no, okay, just go out there and play,
Okay,
and
good. Yeah.
it's just brutal now. I mean, it's like it's almost advancing now so quickly that it sort of has to hopefully course correct, because you don't want these women now that have all these amazing opportunities to hate it and get burnt out when they were like 21,
Exactly. Or they're
22.
injured at
Yeah.
they're blowing ACLs at 12, 13 years old, that I don't know. But
Yeah.
it's a different time. But there's a lot of
Yeah.
exciting things happening for sure. Like we never got to watch anything. So I didn't have a Mia Hamm to watch.
Yeah.
These kids can watch everything now, like all and the leagues over in Europe and the Champions League and the
Yeah.
Euros. Like I would have ate that up as a kid. Like give it to me. And
Yeah.
now it's super accessible. So that's neat for these kids to be able to have a female role model other than
Yeah.
Jerry Rice and Joe Montana, who were like
Yeah.
mine. It's like
Yeah. Oh, growing up, I had Phil Simms, Lawrence Taylor on my wall.
the Giants, baby. I want to be Lawrence Taylor. That's gonna happen.
I literally was like, if that's not an indication of like, well, first of all, I have a twin. And so on her side of the room was like appropriate little girl posters. It was like a cat that's like, hang in there. And like, I don't know, Scott Baio before he took a dark turn. But and then on my wall is like, I'm like, LT Phil Simms. It was like, here's the gay wall and there's the straight wall. Like it was just like I couldn't, but I wish I had like Serena, like I wish I had, that's just to me like the coolest part.
Well, you have Serena now. I
have Serena now. This is like what I would have had. All right, so let's get fun nerdy U.S. Women's National Team. We're heading into the Olympics. I want to talk about Emma Hayes before we talk about the team, and just kind of ask you like kind of what your thoughts are. I know she's just been, obviously it was just announced she's just getting in there, but it just feels like to me when she was announced, I was like so excited because I mean, I don't know, it just seemed like such a good fit. And just like a fresh set of eyes, and she's a winner. And even her outfit on the sidelines on Saturday, it looked like, she was about to go pick someone up at the airport. Like she doesn't give a shit. And I just like, I love her
No,
vibe.
she doesn't. Yeah.
So how are you feeling about the coaching change?
Yeah, I like her a lot. I was super thrilled by it. I think she's smart. I think she's funny, and she knows the game, but like she's cool. Like people like her. Like people want to hang out with her, like she feels like that. Like you could go have a beer with her, and she's not trying to like fool anyone or be anybody that she's not. And I think she'll make decisions that need to be made. And I think that's great. Like she's going to be the one that's going to go. I mean, with the Olympics, you have 18. So you can't, like when you have the 20, or was it even 23, I want to say in the World Cup, might've been 23, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Then you can tinker like those last handful, is a coach's pick or like captain's picks where you're doing it for like the culture of the team and the vibe. Like you want positive, good, people. Here God dang, like I was trying to make my roster for like the last 2 days.
Oh, I'm gonna ask you.
Yeah, well, I don't have it done because I have like 3 spots where I'm like, shit, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, the other thing is like she gets to, and she hasn't really got to see them a lot. Like when you're at training, like that's important. Like how do they train? What are they like off the field? How do they gel with the others? Like that's part of it. So I don't have any insight into that. And she's brand new. So I think Twyla did an amazing job. Like,
right.
I don't know how she did that. Like kind of, taking that team through that transition period. But like, that's part of it. Like she hasn't got to see these kids play that much besides like on film so it's difficult. I honestly, when I'm going through this, I'm like, I don't know how she's going to do it. Like that's why she's the coach and we're not.
Well, I don't think I literally have Twyla Kilgore like right next to Emma Hayes in my talking points because I just don't understand why Twyla isn't getting more credit. Like to me, she was passed like a baton that was on fire that was just dumped in the toilet. And then she had to somehow figure this out. And there was also, maybe she knew Emma was taking over at some point, maybe she didn't, but I thought she just did an amazing job. It felt like this full reset where pretty quickly into a couple of games, it feel like, oh, we were having fun again. Like the players were having fun. It felt looser. I mean, I know, technically it wasn't, the World Cup pressure was off, but it felt like they were playing joyful. Like, and I just thought, wow, like if it wasn't for this interim with Twyla, I don't know we'd be in a place where we're at, where Emma kind of comes in and then takes it to a next level. I mean, I thought she was fantastic.
Yeah, that's a tough position too, right? Because you're doing all this, and then you're gonna go sit. Then you're down here.
Yeah. Like, then you're 5 seats.
Yeah. Then you're down, like getting the water or whatever. I don't know, but like she's not. But and I think people like inside that are people that have a clue know what an important job she did, and I know the players love and respect her. So she's a big piece in all of this, because normally who's gonna be like, sure, I'll do that, and then you can kick me to the curb, like. I think she did a great job, and I think the players did. They just played from their heart, and just that's how we play. Like as a US, like we got too like structured or in our brains or whatever happened. I don't know. It was like paralyzation, like the way we were playing. It's like you got to bring back that. Like we've got creativity, we got athleticism. Like let's go, like let it go. So I think Twyla did a good job of kind of just, and it was like there was nothing really to lose. Like it wasn't a big match or anything, but she did a great job. I'm really impressed with her, and I think a lot of people understand how important she's been.
I hope so. Yeah, because you don't hear a lot, and I was like, this woman needs maybe not a Presidential Medal of Freedom, but like a trophy, just like good job trophy. It's just something.
Yeah.
Because I feel like now when Emma came over, she had something to work with. Everyone wasn't just like like everyone from obviously the team to former players like yourself and just, random sports podcasters like myself, it was depressing as all hell. Like, I feel like we finally sort of were making ground during the Sweden game. And then it was like, bye-bye. So it just feels like we're in, I feel like we have something to work with, and there's, just more, we've got people back from injury, and just, I don't know, it just seems like just a positive vibe heading in.
Yeah, it definitely does. And there's still time. Like that's the other thing, I had my like list, and I go, well, someone, there's still a month like of the NWSL still happening. So like, how are they playing there? Like at all, there's so many factors. Like I would love to see her list of like top factors, like how to pick, right? Like, because if you're back in the NWSL and you're not playing much, or you're not doing any, like, do you take that person? Like, I don't know. And then you got like Haran, Yohannes, Albert, those guys they're done, right? Their season's over. So what are they doing? Like, they got to be doing something somewhere to stay sharp.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I didn't even think about that. That's right. Because their European seasons are over.
Yeah. So
they're probably just going to do some other Olympic trials. They're going to we're going to swim
like Cabo and like hang out. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. All right, let's talk about some dirty moments in the game. Now, I'm not like well schooled on the 6 meets the 5 and then the 10 goes up, like the numbers always throw me. But it felt like there was so much movement and so much fluidity, and like, we had Night Swanger. I felt like at some point she was just like hanging out with the goalie. Like she just was so far up, and I just called the whole thing like shape shifting. Like it felt like it felt great. It felt fun to watch.
Yeah. No, that's definitely right. And that's why they're pushing her up higher. And then they like Jaden Shaw. They like push, she's not really a winger, right? So they're pushing her inside to get in those pockets in there. So it's very sophisticated. Like this isn't stuff we used to do. It was like you played like a 4-4-2 and you kind of were in your area, like back in our day. Now it's like there's shifts and there's movements, and you defend in a certain formation and then you attack in a different, you know what I mean? It's like, but we have all these players that are like, that can play in different areas, right? So that's huge. We almost have too many. It's like,
no, it's an embarrassment of riches.
It's like,
at an
where
18.
do we put? That's what I mean. I'm like, she's best here, but so is this one. But then do you put her out here, or do you take a real winger? I don't know, man. We've got so many great players. It's tough, man. It is, and you also want to take some vets, right, that have been there for the leadership. But like I said, with 18, man, and it's 2 days rest between games, which is ridiculously short. 2 days. So everybody's going to play. Like, in the Olympics, we had 23 people then even sniff the field.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to have to play. So she's got to pick people that are going to be able to get in there and do something. So I don't know, but people are flying. It's hard to tell, right? Even I'm
right.
I was like, I had to like rewind it and be like, wait, what are we playing? And then I'm like listening to Foudy going, well, what the hell is it? Like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you can't tell.
Yeah, I mean, that makes me feel a little bit better because you're a professional. Because I was like, what is she doing so far up? And I was like, well, I guess that's good unless there's a breakaway. Like, wait, I have to pause this for a second. When you watch soccer games, do you, first of all, two-part question, do you enjoy yourself? And two, you kind of analyzing it the whole time? Can you relax?
I find myself analyzing a lot. Like I'll because I do a little bit like I'm trying to coach a little, and I have a daughter and we'll watch and I'll like rewind and be like, did you see that pass? Like, or did you see that run? It'll be a run when the person didn't even get the ball. And I'm like, did you see that run? Like that is high level. Like most people will be like, I don't know. Like they're just watching the ball. And then I'm watching like off the ball. Cause that's where like all the stuff happens is off the ball movement. And so and if I'm having fun, I mean, are we winning the game? Like,
right.
Sometimes that has something to do with it. Right. So I try to just watch, like if I watch a men's game more, I just try to watch. But when I'm watching NWSL or like the US, I'm trying to like see, I'm analyzing and I'm a little critical. I'm probably too critical, but.
Well, I think that just probably, obviously you're a pro. So you're like looking for specific things, but like I'm in a terrible mood when they're not doing well. Like I literally take it personally, and I'm not blaming them. I'm just like,
no,
you know what I mean? You're just like, you feel kind of like heartbroken. I'm like, so invested, but it does feel to me just, from an outsider that I don't know. It just feels like there's been this shift. And I think 4030, which is obviously fantastic. Now I know South Korea is like what, 20th or whatever. All of a sudden Davidson's like putting 2 headers in. I'm like, well, that never, I mean, you know what I mean? It just felt like there's
We're
a lot.
Flying. Like at times they're flying. And when when you get the front three of like Rodman, Smith, Swanson, and like they're running and they're crossing and they look like they're just having the time of their life. Like I don't want to be playing any defense anywhere near those three when they're going. So I think I'm excited. I get excited to watch them. And then after I go, Jesus Christ, like why, how do you miss that? Then I go, okay, like that's hard. Like it's hard. Like it's hard to score a goal. It's hard to make a pinpoint. Like it's not easy. So
it seems impossible.
Right.
Yeah.
So then I catch myself going, okay, take it easy. Like you can't do that. Like these kids are way better than you ever were. You know what I mean? It's just takes me a minute. And I'm like, dude, it's like playing golf. I'm like, how hard can this be? And then it's freaking hard as heck. So
I don't think I have to get back to Smith, Rodman, and I would say Pugh and Swanson for a second.
Pugh,
golf, I did it once. I went to a driving range and I thought, well, I'm an athlete. I still play. I play sports all the time. I couldn't even, I couldn't hit the ball. I was so angry. And then I was getting really flustered because I was with my partner's dad and I was like, he's a big jock and that's like our language. You know what I mean? And I was like, I got this. I was furious. I just couldn't get it. Do you play a lot of golf?
I grew up on a golf course, which I usually was running and on it, not playing soccer, but I play some and I'll go out now and I just get so pissed. And I'm like, dude, I play 6 times a year. Like you can't expect yourself. So like Foudy, Mia, and I play in the Pro-Am every year. And I'm like, oh, we should get you to come out. We play in LA.
So fun.
And we always need a fourth because Abby Wambach was our fourth. And then she hasn't been able to come the last couple of years. So Mia brought her friend who was like a college golfer who was freaking awesome. Right. So we go and play. And Foudy shows up in like these shoes, golf shoes from like that Nike gave us 20 years ago. I go, Jules, Jules, what kind of shoes are those? So she's got these old, her gear, her golf clubs are all old, and they're like the head covers are like disintegrating. And we're like, what the hell? She goes, dude, I haven't played. And so she plays once a year in this event.
Oh my God,
And it is the funny. You got to come just hang out with us.
I want to just be,
hysterical.
I'll just be the caddy and I'll just heckle you guys.
You just ride in the cart, have a couple beers. Mia's a very good golfer and she's serious and she knows what she's doing. I'm okay. Foudy plays once a year, but the commentary, and we're all decent. I mean, the commentary is just off the charts. But we're playing with these pro ladies who are like, there's like, they can tell, they'll be like, hey, just hit it there. I go, dude, I don't know where this ball's going. They can put it right within, inches of where they want. So
to me, it's the hardest thing.
It's hard.
To me, I truly feel like it's the hardest sport. I could not believe how I couldn't even hit the freaking ball. Like, of course,
stationary ball.
It was stationary. It wasn't even
ball.
Like aim for it was just literally hit it. It was a driving range, whatever. I was furious with myself. And then I was just like, well, you've never done it before and maybe you should try.
Yeah. So I'll take a lesson.
I'll take a lesson, knowing that I'm going to, jump in your game. I'm going to make that happen. That'll be that's on the bucket list. I had a moment in the second game when South Korea is down like 2-0. And then in like the 70th minute or whatever it was, Smith, Rodman, and Swanson come in. And I was like, coffee, but just that front line.
Shit. And the poor South Koreans are gone.
I was like, if I was a South Korea defender, I'd be like, motherfucker.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, just like, to me, those three coming in are just like gun loaded. I just would have been shitting my pants if I was in South Korea.
That's where you like pull up with a hamstring. You're like,
cramping.
That is ridiculous. They are ridiculous. Yeah. And then you have like a Lavelle or a Shaw or a Macari. Like you just have, they're just so good.
Yeah. Lavelle came in. She subs in. I mean, that's the thing. It's like Rose Lavelle subs in. Just that sentence alone is like insane. She comes in and then boom, it was just like another level.
Over. Yeah, she took over. I love watching her. She's one of my favorites. If she could just stay healthy. So that's the other. I mean, those are all things to consider, right, for this coach. So it's a big decision.
Kristine Dunn. Do you put her in defense or offense?
That's my big goal. Like I scribble out, put it in, scribble out. I don't know. I like her as a defender more myself. We have too many other forwards, I think. But she can play both. And if you only can take 18, like if you take Staub or what's the other outside back? Come on, Kruger. They're only defenders, right? So she can do both. So that's
she's a lock. She's a lock to me. She's like, there's no way the bus leaves. Because that's how you get to Paris. There's no way.
You better leave now. You better leave now. You going on?
There's no way the bus leaves without Kristine Dunn on that bus.
Yeah.
To me, I need her on defense because I love Davidson. Don't get me wrong. I just feel much better with Dunn than Davidson. Just my feeling. We have so many forwards, but that moment where Kristine Dunn comes in as forward, she scores a goal, and then now I'm going to go trot back and play left back, and then I'm thinking she's also a mom. She birthed a baby, and it's just kind of mind blowing.
It is mind blowing.
And
she's
her.
A little on the older side. Like she's not a young squirrel anymore. Like she is. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think she's a lock because she can play multiple positions. She can play midfield too, actually. So that's a bonus for her, I think. I don't know. I just spent like too many, and then I got to get up and like go for a walk, like as I'm trying to like figure this out. And I'm like, you know what? I don't have to make this decision. So then I just like crumble it up and run away. I'm like, I don't know, but I mean, a lot can happen between now and a couple weeks, So.
Yeah, there's just so many moments where first of all, Lilly Yohannes,
oh my God.
When she scores a goal and smiles and her braces are on,
she's so
I
cute.
literally was like, oh my God, when I was 16, I think I was like, oh, hey, is this Southern Comfort? And like, she's literally, like scoring a goal and then
Yeah.
smiles with the braces. I was like,
Oh gosh.
do you take her? I mean,
Yeah.
it's
She was amazing. She is gonna be a legend. Like she, to me, she was great. I've never seen her play any, like, you know
yeah,
what I mean though? Like
yeah.
I don't watch her games. I don't know. So, but I know that Emma Hayes has been watching her, right? Because she's
Yeah.
over in
Yeah.
Europe. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I was shocked with her. I was like, oh, how old is this kid? Like, she's the most mature one out there. Like, she is something.
She just was so collected. She just seemed
Yeah,
like unfazed.
she
And I was like,
was.
you're
Yeah,
16. And then Casey Fair, when are we going to get her on ACFC? 16-year-old playing for South
yeah,
Korea. I was like,
yeah,
that. I mean, I cannot believe how this feels like a gymnast, like a USA, like when
yeah,
they're like
yeah,
15, 16, like I cannot believe the level. Yeah, that when Lilly came in, I was like, first of all, like I heard her name before, but I didn't know
yeah,
her. Yeah.
yeah.
And
And you're
then the
like, wait a sec.
Netherlands must be trying to get her, like,
Oh, for
get,
sure they
you
are.
know,
Yeah.
I would throw money, a lot of money at
We
her. I
need some
think,
NIL. We need some NIL
yeah.
guys to get her on our side.
Another really, I thought, amazing moment was when Haran goes out and gives the captain's armband to Gurma.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just her poise, her level of
yeah,
poise is kind of mind blowing for
yeah.
she like 22, 23.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe 23, maybe not even. But she's always been like that too. She's sort of like
yeah,
this Yohannes where she's the coolest kid. Like I don't know her, but I've heard her on podcasts. She's always smiling. She's super sweet. Like she's just like everybody loves her. Like
yeah,
anytime you ever hear anybody talk about that, like, oh, she's the greatest person ever and just a greatest player. She'll be the future captain for sure. Yeah, to give him the captain. She was probably like, wait,
yeah.
what?
I thought that was so like I
Yeah,
went down
that's
to
cool.
a bunch of San Diego Wave games just to see the stadium and one was it was ACFC San Diego. Then I went to I guess the national team had a game down there too.
Yeah,
We have a much better stadium. Sorry, San Diego.
yeah.
But it was packed and everyone, it was like Gurma, 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 Gurma. It was just funny because you have Alex Morgan, who now I feel like she's on the bubble, but I want to take her because of what she's literally done for the game. But
Yeah.
it was kind of crazy to have this superstar and everyone was kind of talking about Gurma. It's just so
Yeah.
it's just like the depth. It's like when
Yeah.
Rampone, retired, I was like, we're never gonna survive. And then, Sauerbrunn comes in. I'm like, oh, phew.
Oh, hey,
And now
yeah.
Sauerbrunn is like, girl, like it's pretty incredible the
Yeah.
amount of talent that we've
It's
had.
neat how it kind of and it overlaps, right? So like Germa can learn from Sauerbrunn and you know what I mean? Like that's kind of
Yeah,
how you do it. You like well, you're hoping that these
yeah,
players are coming in and learning from the veterans that are there. So you keep that, the heart of the team, which
yeah,
is like the biggest part of it, is got to be there. Like the
yeah,
work ethic and the, play for each other and all that is like that's the first part, and then you kind of go from there. So
yeah,
it's exciting. I don't envy the coach at all for this. I
yeah.
mean, that's impossible
Those phone
task.
calls she has to make for the women that don't make it. Oh God, that's got to be just soul crushing.
Yeah,
But
but
you know,
that's what we're paying her the big bucks.
got to pair the big bucks. Let's end with this. You were so we're heading into the Olympics. Gold medalist, 1996. Is there a memory or an experience that stands out from the Olympics?
Oh yeah, like because as a kid, like I said, like I was like you, like I was outside all day. I was playing basketball, and we play soccer in the back. I was swimming, and I in my mind I'm an Olympian, and I'm winning
Oh yeah,
all these things. I'm like shit, so good at all this stuff. Roller hockey in the garage, like
so
Olympics,
awesome.
Olympics, because that's all
Yeah,
I knew. That's the only thing you ever saw on
yeah,
TV. So I was like, that was like my lifelong like dream was like to be in the Olympics, and soccer, of course, wasn't in there for a long time. So I was in college, I think like my freshman year, and they announced like, "Hey, women's soccer is going to be in the Olympics," and I'm like, "Are you freaking serious? Like, what? Like the national team's going to that?" I'm like, "Dude, I have a chance." And so just like all along, that's all I ever wanted to do. So, and that team, we had 16 players on that team. The
no way.
roster was 16 with two goalkeepers. So you had 14 field players. Like I always talk about that. I'm like, how did we do that? Like that is
Yeah,
ridiculous. So I think just like walking. So we contemplated going to the opening ceremonies because, of course, soccer wasn't in Atlanta to start. We weren't even in Athens. We were in Florida.
You were in Florida?
Yeah, we started in Orlando. Like the women's and men's soccer like moved around a little bit. So we started in Orlando, right? So we're there training. We're gonna have 2 games in Orlando, then a game in Miami. Then we go to Athens, Georgia. We never even played in Atlanta. And then so like the opening ceremonies are obviously in Atlanta, and then we had a game. I don't know if it was the next day. So we were trying to sort out like, do we go? Because that's travel. It's freaking 100 degrees. You're sitting out. It's like like 5-hour deal. Like you're outside, you're standing up, you're walking, whatever, right? So the coach is like, and Tony Chico's like, you guys decide. This is like your Olympics. Like, if you want to go, we'll go. So I was like, we all were like, fuck yeah, we got to go. It's the opening ceremonies in the Olympics. Like we're going. And so we might have even chartered, which would have been outrageous, but we got ourselves there. And then, you know, you put all that gear on. I don't know, it was like some crazy skirt and a weird top and a hat. And it's 150 degrees out and you're like drenched in sweat and you got to like, you know, and you're just, and all of a sudden, like, and we're kind of like, dude, and we're just guzzling water, right? And you're like in this, all of a sudden you get into this waiting, we're in this other arena, like waiting. And then like, you just like, we're freaking surrounded by like all the like US legends, like, you know, the basketball team, there's the gymnastics, there's the track, you know, it's like, you're all piled in there together. So we were starting to get a little hyped, you know, like we're sitting there, you're waiting and we're the last people to go in the stadium because it's USA. And I think the host goes last maybe, but we sat there for 3 hours, whatever. And then like, they're like, okay, let's go. And they're yelling and everybody's hyped up. And we're like, what? And we're like going down this ramp to like go into the Olympic Stadium. Right. And they're like, everybody's yelling and they're like, walk. Well, shit. As soon as we like get down there, everybody just freaking starts to run. Like the whole, like there's teams in front of us and it's like a stampede and we're like screaming and we're like, yeah. And we're like running down this ramp to get into the stadium. And I was just like, I mean, we're losing our minds. Like and the stadium's is full of Americans because we're in the US, right? Everybody's American. And there's 80,000 people in there just freaking losing their minds, right? And chanting USA. And we come ripping down this thing and get it. And then we were like walking the track, just like with all these. I mean, it was.
I have like chills. This is so awesome.
I was like, we were blown away. We're like, thank God we decided to go because we would have missed out on. I mean, that's a big part of it is just being a part of that whole U.S. team. That's what's cool about the Olympics is like you're on your team, but then it's the U.S. team. We all have the same gear. You know, it was cool. So I think that kind of like got us kicked off to like, we're freaking winning this shit.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's on our turf and we're going to do it. So that whole tournament, that was amazing. All together deal.
And it probably gave you a lot of confidence and excitement going into, you know, World Cup, I can imagine too, of like, you know, well, we did it a couple years ago. Just it felt like you had so much energy and goodwill, and because of that Olympics, you know, also, you know, then the World Cup was here, so it just felt so, God, what a period of time.
But they were both in the USA, right? Who gets to do that? Like I played in one Olympics, I played in 2 World Cups, but the 99 was here. It's like you're at home, and the fans, the support and the fans can really, it really is something. And we you know, fed off of that, and that helps you for sure. I mean, it's a lot of pressure. Like that World Cup was a lot of pressure. Just like, wow, it's here, and they weren't going to put it in big stadiums, and they were going to make it small and blah blah blah. Right? Well, Marla Messing comes in and goes, "Hell no, we're putting it in Giant Stadium, and we're putting it in, you know, the Rose Bowl, and we're going to sell these places out." And then like. And we're all like, yeah. And then we all turn around and go, holy shit. Like, are we going to sell these out? Like, I hope so. We're like, we don't know. Like the shit. Yeah. So and then we did. Like, that was crazy too. But just being in the US and playing on home soil is everything. It was everything. So that I had a good run. I timed it right. Had a good run.
Well, that's awesome because, you know, you do see all these other new opportunities and stadiums and all that, but to be a part of that moment, I'm sure you wouldn't, you know, trade it for the world because you built it all, and that's amazing.
Yeah, the greatest is like hearing people's stories at like the road, like the day when we won. Like a lot of people were there. Like I have friends now, like my kids' friends' parents are like, I was at that game. Like my friend had an extra ticket and I just went like random, right? And like they're like, it was the most unbelievable thing I've ever been to. Like it just is a cool thing when people go, wait, you were on that team? Like people ask me that, like I'll say the 99 World Cup. They'll be like, oh, was it that team? I'm like, yeah, it's that team. The one where Brandy took her top off, that team. Like people remember that. Like it was an honor. That was a great run. That was a good group of kids.
And no one would have to ask you that if you kept wearing your Hall of Fame jacket. So there you go.
Good point, Erin. I'm gonna brush that. I'm gonna get the lint brush out on that thing.
I can't thank you enough. What an absolute pleasure it was to talk to you.
Hey, but listen, a couple things. We gotta get you over on our side for a game for the Angel City. No offense to the section 115, but
I've been over there a couple of times and I'm like, this is where I belong, quite frankly. So I got to get on it.
We'll get you over there and then we'll got to get you in the pro-am. So I'm going
to start really getting into my golf lesbian phase and get my leg warmers and start swinging. Absolutely.
Yeah, get it going.
Yeah, for sure. But let's meet up at an ACFC game for sure.
Okay, I'll
just drop your name. I'll wear another sort of loose red jacket and pretend I'm in the inner circle. I mean, people, come on. How great is Tish? She's the best. And I highly recommend listening to her Hall of Fame speech, which you can find on the National Soccer Hall of Fame website. It's super inspiring. And her brother gives her the intro crying. It was fantastic. Okay, now it's time for the feel good moment of the week. Now, I had this whole moment planned, okay? But after I recorded the interview with Tish, she texted me and she was like, you know what, Erin, I forgot to mention my women's soccer fantasy camp this summer, along with Kristine, Lilly, and Mia Hamm in the Berkshires this summer. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? This is happening, and I'm about to explain what's going on. And now this has become the feel good moment of the week. But essentially, as an adult woman, you just go to the camp and live out your soccer dreams. You get to play soccer with Tish and Kristine, Lilly, and Mia Hamm. And there's drinks and clam bakes. And it doesn't matter if you haven't played soccer in 20 years. It's just so much fun. You just, I don't know, grab a pair of sneakers and you're just playing with these Hall of Fame soccer players. And then you go have a cocktail and row around a lake. So all the information is on the website. It's BerkshireSoccerAcademy.com. I will put the link in the show notes. That is super feel good. And that is our show. Take care of each other out there. Fans, friends, family. Have the best week of your life.